Louis XVI was born on August 23rd in 1754 in the Palace of Versailles. He became the heir to the throne on his father's death in 1765. In 1770, at the age of 15, he married the 14-year-old Austrian Archduchess Marie Antoinette.
Do you, Marie Antoinette, take Louis XVI to be your lawfully wedded husband? I now pronounce you husband and wife.
Marie Antoinette, daughter of Maria Theresa and the Holy Roman Emperor Francis I. With the death of Louis's grandfather, Louis XV, Louis August became Louis XVI. Becoming king at only 20 years old, he was immature and showed a lack of self-confidence. Louis XVI's early foreign policy success was supporting the American colonies' fight for independence from France's archenemy, Great Britain.
His approval of French military and financial support for the American colonists led to a foreign policy success, but the borrowing required to pay for the war drove the government to the brink of bankruptcy and led the king to support radical fiscal, economic, and administrative reforms proposed by Charles Alexandre de Calonne, the Comptroller General of Finance in 1787.
King Louis, just across the Atlantic, the Americans are fighting for freedom against our old nemesis, Great Britain.
I want revenge for my grandfather's defeat, provide money and material to arm the new republic, and send an army to the Americas immediately.
While Louis was sending money and troops across the Atlantic, Marie was busy making debts of her own. She represented all that was wrong with Versailles and that culture. The humiliation of being unable to produce a male heir and continuing to live in extravagance while the country was in economic chaos caused her to receive the nickname Madame Deficit.
Bottles of this wine we can't pronounce. Too many bowls of that green, no lucky charms. The maids come around too much. Parents ain't around enough. Too many joy rides in daddy's Jaguar.
This coincided with hailstorms which ruined a year's worth of harvest, raising food prices, such as bread, causing widespread hunger. The price of bread increased 50% in 1 year, but wages didn't go up at all. The people's view of the monarchy soured as conditions in the countryside worsened.
In response to the crisis, Louis called a meeting of the States General, which was the closest thing they had to a national parliament.
I know we haven't met since 1614, but I wanted to assemble the first estate, the clergy, the second estate, nobility, and the third estate, the commoners, in order to try and raise taxes. How many have arrived from each estate?
We showed up with around 600 representatives.
We have about 300.
Yeah, us too.
Louis, we are paying all the taxes, producing all the wealth, fighting in all the wars, and meanwhile, the first estate pays absolutely nothing in taxes. I believe it's best if all the representatives from each estate to meet together in one assembly, which would basically be governing parliament.
No, that would give you a slight majority.
I agree.
No, we will never meet.
Angered by Louis's refusal to allow the three estates to meet simultaneously, the third estate proclaimed itself a national assembly, declaring that only it had the right to represent the nation.
Here we take an oath never to separate until a written constitution has been established for France.
Don't worry, we'll get out of here.
We can't leave. Where are we to go?
All I know is that we have to get away from this danger.
The fall of 1791, Louis XVI and the National Assembly developed a plan to invade Austria in hopes that a military defeat would pave the way for the restoration of his authority. War broke out in April 1792.
We can plunder Austria's wealth, steal grain, and spread the revolution to all of Europe.
I'm Austria.
Hey, look, it's Prussia!
After declaring France a new republic, Louis was convicted of conspiracy with foreign powers, which got him and his family charged for treason. Louis was soon found guilty by the National Assembly and condemned to death by means of the guillotine. This took place on the 21st of January, 1793, at the Place de la Révolution.